Everyone ready? All right, we got the recording in process. With that, we'll officially call the Common Council meeting to order. Has the meeting been properly posted and the roll been taken?
Yes.
Right. Item number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. And all right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item number 3 is approval of the minutes. 3.1 are minutes of the June 21st, 2022 meeting. If there's no additions or corrections, I'd go ahead and entertain a motion to approve those minutes. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 4 are communications. I don't believe we have any communications at this time.
No.
So we'll move into item number 5, which is public comments. Citizens may address the chair at this point of the meeting. All I would ask is that you please limit your comments to items that are on the agenda, once a maximum of 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
No.
Then we'll move on to item number 6, which are reports of committees, boards, commissions, and the Delavan Darien School District. Item 6.1 are the Finance Committee and the Financial Report. Alderwoman Deschner-Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee met on July 12th at 5 o'clock. Our next meeting is August 2nd at 5. There are a number of items on tonight's agenda. The minutes of the meeting are on file at the city clerk for public inspection. At this time, I would make a motion to approve the financial report.
Thank you. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 6.2 is the general operations. Alderman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. General operations met Tuesday, June 5th, 2022. Public comments consisted of a business owner who was unhappy with the amusement fees attached to her liquor license. All committee reports were brief. In business, we sent several items to the Common Council. Future agenda items, once again, we're going to discuss allowing light vehicles such as golf carts or UTVs on city streets. The next June meeting will be Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 at 5:30.
All right, thank you, Alderman Wilson. Item 6.3 is the Planning Commission. Alderman Beezer.
Mr. Mayor, the Planning Commission met July 5th and today, and the next meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 1st at 5 p.m. There will be a number of things that we'll be discussing today on the agenda. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Beezer. Item 6.4 is Public Works. Alderwoman Deschner-Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works did not meet since our last council meeting. Our next meeting is July 26th at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Deschner-Brand. Item 6.5 is the Town of the Delavan Lake Committee. Alderman Beezer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Town of Delavan Lake Committee did in fact meet, and I'm happy to say that we are on track. Process has begun for the dredging operations starting July 1st, so that should already be underway. There's one permit that still needed to be procured from the county, and that was the final step in order to get everything taking place. As it stands, the timeline that was put forth is current.
Thank you, Alderman Beezer. Item 6.6 is Library Board of Trustees. Alderwoman Deschner-Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Library Board of Trustees has not met since our last council meeting. Our next meeting is this Thursday at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Deschner-Brand. Item 6.7 is Parks and Recreation Commission. Alderman Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Into the summer programs, we're gonna start looking out for fall programs now coming soon. We're getting a little bit closer with the dog park. think there'll be a dog park this year, but I guarantee you it will be next year. So we have a few things that we're discussing with that, and the next meeting is gonna be July 25th.
Thank you, Alderman Purcell. Item 6.8 is Communications Commission, Alderman Solis.
It's back here.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was going to join virtually or not. I know there hasn't been a meeting since the last council meeting, and I don't believe a meeting date has been set at this time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then we'll hopefully have more of an update next month. With that, we'll move on to item number 6.9, which is the Delavan Downtown Project Management Team, Alderwoman Deschner Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Downtown Project Management Team has also not met since the last council meeting. Our next meeting is on July 26th at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Alderwoman Deschner Brand. Item 6.10 is the Delbrook Golf Commission, Alderman Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Delbrook has not met since the last council meeting, even though I was here for a half an hour, no one told me about it. But the next meeting, that's fine, I had a sandwich. The next meeting is gonna be Thursday, July 21st at 5 p.m.
Thank you, Alderman Purcell. Item 6.11 is the Tourism Commission. Normally, again, that would be Alderman Solis. I don't know, Brian, City Administrator, did you want to give any kind of an update from the June 22nd meeting?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on Wednesday, June 22nd, and after a update from the marketing with Visit Delavan regarding Cars That Time Forgot, 125th anniversary celebration coming up, we discussed the Tourism Commission discussed and approved to update a room tax study they did a few years ago. This will be related to what the impact would be of constructing a convention center or other type of center at the Lake Lawn area. And then they also voted to take action to update the 2 billboards that the city owns on I-43 north and southbound. Wraps are being designed for those to basically put a new face up there. Public Works did go out and take the old Wall Dog signs off of both. So yeah, it's updated a little bit, but we'll continue. And the next meeting will be Wednesday, July 27th, 8:30.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brian. Item 6.12 is the Delavan Darien School District update. I know I saw Dr. Jill Sorby there earlier. I assume she's still there.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commission. I have several updates. First of all, summer school is just coming to an end here at the end of next week. It's been highly successful. A lot of kids have learned to swim, and a lot of kids have had a lot of opportunities to learn and continue their learning. So we're excited to have that come to a close, but just overall it was a huge success. Back to school for teachers happens Monday the 22nd for new teachers. We will have all teachers get a great back to school picnic for their families and themselves, along with a really fun, engaging activity that they don't know about quite yet that we're planning that's in the works. So just some fun with the staff when they come back. We have open house for families on Monday, the 29th of August, and school starts on the 6th. I want to thank the city for the partnership with the video. We, the school district, are participating in that marketing video. We have signed on with CGI and have a meeting tomorrow to start talking about what steps we'll take in that planning. So we're excited about that. We will participate this weekend in Brick Street Day. So we're excited to sell some Comet gear. We are opening our second Comet Spirit store in the new stadium. So the first one was highly successful with selling over $10,000 worth of merchandise off it last year alone. So going to open our second one. I feel like we're in the business here of retail. Kind of fun to see everybody with some Comet gear on. Homecoming is coming up, believe it or not, right after school gets started. The kickoff for the students will be on Friday, September 16th, following by the following week with a whole bunch of fun activities. And I hope that everybody puts it on their calendar to show up to the game on the 23rd of September and joining us for the parade, the big cookout for the pig that we've already got 2 pigs donated. by fellow farmers. And so it's kind of nice. We'll have a big camaraderie for our community. So please join us for that, along with the ribbon cutting to officially open the stadium. Curriculum, we've adopted we have one adopted and 2 new pilots for curriculum. So I want to share that. We have a new one for 4-year-old kindergarten kiddos. And we are piloting a 6-12 science curriculum and a 9-12 math curriculum. So exciting stuff for the secondary level. We hired an official new outreach coordinator, so we'll be bringing her around. Her name is Vanya, and she is bilingual and is coming to us from Harvard, where she did a lot of work with Harvard School District with their community and outreach for that. So we're excited about her joining the team and continuing to help with our community as we move forward. DD Tech is highly successful. We've had over 60 students apply for the program. So far it's a great start. And then one last piece of more financial business for the school district. Our operational referendum, which we passed in November of 2018, is in its last final year this fiscal year. And so the board has officially decided to move forward with a November operational that would continue. They have not decided the amount yet. That will be on the August board agenda. And then they will create the ballot, and that will be to continue with the current operational referendum. So as this one dies off in 2023, the next one would pick up from there. So there's not overlap on the operational, but there would be a continuation, so to say. Okay. Any questions for me?
A couple.
Yes.
What's the current operational?
2.8 per year for 4 years.
Per year?
Mhm.
So this would be an extension for another 4 years?
Correct. That's what I'm assuming they will do. But that is something, again, they will decide on the timeline, and the amount and the question will be all part of the August.
Earlier today,
Mhm.
we talked a little bit about an increase of people potentially moving to Delavan, 175 units worth. My question is, how is the district set for capacity?
Good question. I would say that for capacity, Turtle Creek is probably about 100 kids less than capacity right now. And so they have room to still grow. I would say Phoenix is probably about 150 to 200 still to grow. Darien's probably around 75-ish. And the high school, I would say, has got a good 250. So overall, there's room to grow. I would say that depending on the community, there has been talk with our master campus plan that we did with Point of Beginning 2 years ago, that there would be a potential to think about putting additional classrooms and an additional gym onto Turtle Creek, because currently when they built Turtle Creek in the 90s, that was one of the cuts that they had to make, was to condense the cafeteria with the gym. That makes it hard for scheduling purposes and for just all things you're trying to do with kids. So the idea would be is to build off of the current existing short wing that goes towards the back of the building and add a few more classrooms there, add another gym, and keep the cafeteria where it's at, which is in the middle of the building. And so that is something that we've looked at as we expand. Wildman is an aged building, so going down that route again and opening another building or another one is probably not something that they would be recommended, but it could be something that they entertain again as a school board.
Have you seen an increase in enrollment since last year?
No, all the surrounding districts in the area are declining enrollment. Every single one of us are competing for students. Yeah, every single one of us. So, when you're thinking about the person that was presenting here and your decision. I think that as long as we're not looking at low income homes, which we've talked over and over about, low income apartments, the district would be in favor of that expansion. As long as they don't price themselves so families in our community can't afford it, right? So far, I've really appreciated the way the council has looked at how to expand appropriately and with the right mindset for the entire community. One final note, the school board did vote to pass the Darien TID. We have 1 of 5 votes, and the Darien Village will be making that determination, I think, tonight, I believe. And then they will officially go to vote with the 5 stakeholders that do have a vote. The district is one of them. Mr. Klein, my business administrator, will be voting on behalf of the school board, which was a 7-0 yes to move forward with the TID or have a vote on that. And there is a little bit of confusion by our community that they don't really understand that with a TID, it does not bring in more funding or revenue to the school district. It only brings in the future, after the TID rolls off, the opportunity to have more property value. And so therefore it decreases the levy that the school district would levy against property owners, or equalizes it, I should say. And so, so there's really no benefit directly for a school district for a TID. And so, in this case, the district only got $255 per year on that piece of property in Darien. So in this case, it wasn't something that the school looks at and says that it really impacts us tax-wise. So just to share that, because I do believe that the city is maybe going for another TID in the future. So I just share that's the vote that the board had for you. Okay.
Thanks for the update. Appreciate it and the good questions.
Yes, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 7, issues that came before the Planning Commission. 7.1 is consider a conditional use petition to allow for an accessory dwelling unit land use for an apartment in the detached garage at 225 North 4th Street, located in the residential single family 2 RS-2 zoning district with a floodplain overlay. Applicant Saskia Lauder.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve, subject to the following: 1, conditional use findings listed in the report, and 2, conditional use request for the accessory dwelling unit land use for an apartment in a detached garage at 225 North 4th Street, located in the residential single family 2 RS-2 zoning district with a floodplain overlay. Applicant Saskia Lauder, subject to the conditions of approval listed in the report.
Thank you. There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.2 is consider a rezoning petition for the property at 225 North 4th Street, tax parcel XWUP 80 from residential single family -3 RS-3 with a floodplain overlay to residential single family -2 RS-2 with a floodplain overlay. Again, applicant Saskia Lauder.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the requested rezoning of 225 North 4th Street, tax parcel XWUP 80 from residential single family 3 RS-3 with a floodplain overlay to residential single family 2 RS-2 with a floodplain overlay based on the findings that this proposed change would not be against the public interest and align with the city's comprehensive master plan.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 8 are issues that came before the Finance Committee. 8.1 is consider and intergovernmental agreement, IGA, with the Delavan Lake Sanitary District for providing sewage service to the existing developed portion of Lake Lawn Resorts.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to authorize the proposed IGA with Delavan Lake Sanitary District for providing sewage service to the existing developed portion of Lake Lawn Resort as depicted on Exhibit B.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Are there
See-
any,
Go ahead.
are there any complications or anything involving the sanitary district that we wouldn't be taking place anywhere else? I know there was some issues regarding the hookups. For the upcoming, this isn't for the upcoming Harbor Ridge.
No, this is dealing with Harbor Club out at Lake Lawn.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye. Opposed, same sign. Item number 8.2 is consider roofing replacement quotes received for the Spring Grove Mausoleum.
I would move to approve award of contract based on the bid from James R. Taylor and Sons for the roofing replacement work on the Spring Grove Mausoleum at a total cost of $46,625 with a 15% added contingency for replacing of missing roof deck boards and repairing of rotted roof joists.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may roll call.
I got a question, Ryan.
Oh,
The
sorry.
city
I'm
now
sorry.
The city now owns the mausoleum. Can we sell any of those slots? There's some empty slots in there.
And that would be an item that probably should come back to the finance committee for future discussion.
Okay.
Good question, though. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dashner Brandt.
Yes.
Alderman Baton.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.3 is consider purchase of water mains and cellular endpoints for the 2023 from Badger Meter at a cost of $49,370.
I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of 200 water meters and cellular endpoints from Badger Meter at a cost of $49,370 for 2023.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderwoman Dashner Brandt.
Yes.
Alderman Baton.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.4 is consider change order for the 2022 street and utility contract to add undercutting and full depth paving to the Madison Drive portion of the overall contract in an estimated amount of $120,000.
I would make a motion to authorize a change order to the 2022 streets and utility contract to add undercutting and full depth paving to the Madison Drive portion of the overall contract in an estimated amount of $120,000.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderman Baton.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dashner Brandt.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.5 is consider award of the Main Street to Second Street Alley Utility and Pavement Improvements Contract to Wanasek Corporation out of Burlington, Wisconsin in the amount of $287,335.
Make a motion to award the Main Street to Second Street Alley Utility and Pavement Improvements contract to the Wanasek Corporation out of Burlington, Wisconsin, in the amount of $287,335 to include the roof drain piping alternate.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Alderwoman Deschner Brandt.
Yes.
Alderman Bates.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.6, our approval of bills, warrant 2022-06.
And make the motion to approve warrant 2022-06.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 9 are issues that came before the General Operations Committee. 9.1 is consider a request for a temporary Class B license to allow the Delavan Historic Foundation to sell beer for Brick Street Days, July 23rd, 2022.
I'll move to approve the temporary Class B license for the Delavan Historic Foundation to sell beer on downtown in the area designated for Brick Street Day on July 23rd, 2022.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I just would say this isn't just any kind of beer. For those that are following or don't know, this is the special red Brick Street Red Ale that's in celebration of the city of Delavan's 125th anniversary. So I know we've got at least Alderwoman Deschner Brandt helping to serve it on that Saturday. And I would invite anyone else that can make it down to help us or at least sample at some point. So with that, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by
Mr. Mayor,
aye. Oh, yes.
just a follow-up question. How does it taste?
We wouldn't want to serve anything that wouldn't be okay. So I did have to try it, and I would say it definitely meets with my approval. And I think it will yours too. But good question. With that, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. Item number 9.2 is consider ordinance to amend Title 10, Chapter 5, Section 2, Parent C of the Municipal Code regarding storage of abandoned and junked vehicles.
This came before GOC and it's going to allow our police department to get rid of abandoned or junk vehicles at businesses, which right now we cannot. So right now I'll move to approve the proposed ordinance amending Title 10, Chapter 5, Section 2, Parent C, Parent of the Municipal Code.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 9.3 is consider approval of a temporary Class B retailer's license for the American Legion to sell beer for the Downhill Derby at the Veterans Park Canteen on July 23rd, 2022.
I'll move to approve the application from American Legion Post 95, a temporary Class B retailer license to allow the sale of fermented malt beverages at Veterans Park Canteen for the Downhill Derby, July 23rd, 2022.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 9.4 is consider codification, ordinance, and fees resolution.
Right now, I'll move to approve the proposed ordinance adapting the revision and codification of the city municipal code and move to approve the proposed resolution establishing the corresponding fee schedule, which gives Andy the tools she needs to change fees.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item number 10, our mayor's appointment of common council member. No vote required. General Operations Committee succeeding Michael Plazak. I would nominate and appoint Alderman Bob Baton to that. So is there to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
We don't need a motion.
Oh, I just said no vote required. I apologize. I was just testing all of you. You passed. So thank you, Alderman Baton, for stepping into that role. We appreciate it. That said, item number 11, consider mayor's appointment to the tourism committee. This one is a majority required. I know this is going to, I had thought, obviously, Alderman Baton feeling that. I know that's going to be difficult for him, especially when the school year starts back up. I know it's difficult for him, then it would be difficult for someone like Alderwoman Deschner Brandt. So I hadn't had an opportunity to reach out to anyone. And honestly, I am open at this point. If there's someone that is willing to serve, typically they meet. Sometimes we've met as early as 7:30, but lately it's been more like 8:30 for a good hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. So I know it's difficult for those that have to definitely punch in at a certain time and be on the clock. So again, I don't know if anyone has a special interest in serving on that committee, and I'm certainly open to that. Somebody wants to raise their hand or
It's just a tough time.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah.
Open the two. If they'd be willing to change the time frame.
yeah, I don't know, Brian. We can always wait. Brian, do you have any thoughts on changing the time?
I think you'd have to talk to the chairman on that right now.
Right. Right.
But I mean, they used to have it at 7:30. If it would work to go early, I think that could be done. If it would work to go later in the afternoon, I would think there would be a way to do it. I don't see why that would be out of the question.
Well, there are days I could make 4 AM.
No, thank you.
Come by have coffee with me.
And Andy, do you take those minutes? I'm trying to think now. I'm just trying to, I'm wondering if we're in danger of not having a quorum. Maybe we could wait until next month and then maybe have a discussion with the chairman and see if there's a chance to move the time around and then take it up next month.
Be happy to join in the afternoon, but the 8:30 AM obviously is in the middle of school day, presents an intractable problem for.
What's the earliest you could meet during the afternoon?
So we get done with school about, my responsibility discharges about 3:10. So I could be there, technically I could get there at 3. Or go online, Zoom at 3 from school. So.
Or be in person, maybe 3:30 even?
In person at 3:30.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe there'll be one meeting. I can't remember when it's proposed to meet next, but
Wednesday?
are we really in danger of having a quorum? I don't think with this committee, but maybe we could hold this over until next month if no one objects.
Right now, a quorum is 3 and there are 3. So as long as everyone's there, they're fine.
All right. Well, then if no one has an objection, maybe we'll hold this over until next month. I know there's a couple of other appointments as well that need to be filled, and we can talk with the chairman and see about a time. And as a plan B, if there's someone that could meet and is interested, I'd welcome that and entertain that as well. So with that, we'll move.
We should probably move the table until next month, Mr. Mayor. since
Okay. How about we do it
This April.
officially?
The next month.
There's a motion to table it to next month. Is there a second?
There is, second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of tabling it until next month signify by stating aye. Oh, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 12 are public comments. Citizens may address the chair at this point of the meeting. Please just limit your comments to once for no more than 2 minutes. I don't believe we have any public comments. Item number 13 is suggested future agenda items. Are there any future agenda items?
Yes, Mayor. I don't know how to word this, but I think that when we have some time here, we should start going through some of the city policies and see if we can keep them the way they are, or if we can tweak them or change them. There are some issues in town, and it's all run by policies. Now, I think we need to look at those. I don't think anyone's looked at them in a long time. I don't know. I haven't heard about anything in the last 34 years, policies. But I think there's some stuff that we definitely have to look at. So I don't know if you got any ideas on that, or how we go about doing that.
When you say policies, I'm assuming maybe personnel manual policies or like
Policies like
employee
hotel,
policies.
nothing to do with the city. I mean, the outside city, not city, inside city. Like our hotels and our gas stations. And
Oh, got, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. I appreciate that.
nothing to do with here.
Got it.
Yep.
That would all come to GOC, so if there's any
Right.
suggestions, yeah.
Right, so we have to, that's what I'm saying, I'm just kind of letting you know that we need to look at this stuff. I don't think when was the last time anyone even looked at it?
I would welcome, I think it was Alderman Beazer that mentioned something about GOC, that if Alderman Purcell wanted to talk with Chairman Wilson about anything more specific, it probably does make sense to have it put on the GOC agenda and then run it through GOC, and whatever recommendations they have for the council, then you guys can take it up at a later date, but certainly. Thank you for bringing that up.
We just passed the vehicle policy, that was an updated one, and we did the burn ordinance, that was an updated one, so those are some recent ones that come to mind. But we're absolutely willing to look at all of this stuff. And,
I see, but there's a few more we should.
There's a chicken policy we just updated.
Yeah.
Chris. So.
That's an important
Thank you, Alderman Purcell. And if there's anyone else, I don't know, either at this time, or I've often always said at this time of the agenda, that if there's any other suggested future agenda items for the city council, don't hesitate to reach out and have a discussion, talk with Brian and the city clerk, and we're happy to put it on the city council agenda as well.
Mr. Mayor, I have a suggestion.
Sure.
Through the Lake Committee, that has been asked a number of times that we revisit or we look at or consider our obligation for payment to them. So I'm wondering if we should have finance take a look at some of that and figure out if there's a better avenue or a direction that we should move to make something a little bit more permanent. And I have a couple of suggestions that I'd be happy to bring forward for that.
Certainly, it's been working so perfect all this time, and now I'm having internet issues. But yeah, I know Brian and I have talked about addressing some of those emails that came in, but yeah, happy to talk about it further as well if there's any other issues, and then talk about it at the finance level and council level. So thank you. Any other future agenda items?
Just a follow up on an email that came through from one of the constituents, Scott Whalen, and I know he CC'd you on, Mayor, and CC'd you, Chief, on it too, regarding like the traffic flow around Turtle Creek when kids are going and coming from school there on Birchwood. And I don't know if that's something that we put on the agenda for down the road. It's something that I've noticed when I was taking my son to school there back in the day. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but it's certainly something that would be interesting to discuss.
We'll have a report on that for the general operations committee.
And I know some things have been addressed, so yeah, thank you, Mark, for putting that into a report and talking about it at the committee level, but thanks Alderman Payton for bringing that up as well. If there's no other future agenda items at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all. Thank you for